We're here with James Saxon, former San Jose State star running back. And first of all, James, would you tell our audience what you're doing these days?
Well, I'm currently the running back coach for the Minnesota Vikings, and it's been my 14th year in the league, and after 8 years of playing, and been very fortunate, but it all began at San Jose.
And it began at Washington State in the Lightning and in the Thunder.
Yeah, that was an interesting day. That was the day that I found out that I was capable of playing football on that level, and looking back on it, it was a great opportunity and a great time.
You played one of the greatest modern eras of San Jose State football with Coach Claude Gilbert and Mike Perez and a bunch of others, pair of 10-win seasons.
Yeah.
What are some of the memories you have of those 2 years?
Well, I just think that, every time we went on the field, we just knew we had a chance to win, and we had guys that came to play and compete every day. It's a great time, a lot of great memories there.
You were part of a pretty dynamic backfield with Donald Stewart and Kenny Jackson, and then Johnny Johnson came along.
Yeah, it was great, to be around those guys and compete every day in practice. Nobody wanting to give in, and I think, playing for a coach like Claude Gilbert, and we all learned something. We all learned how to be tough. We all learned how to compete, and we all learned how to be men.
And so then you played your 8 years in the league, and you had a little different role than you had at San Jose State.
You had to do just about anything to stick around, but that's okay. Playing in the NFL was very fortunate to be around some great head coaches and played on some pretty good teams. Unfortunately, I yet to win the big ultimate prize and still chasing that Super Bowl ring.
So how'd you get into coaching?
Well, it's a funny story. In probably my fourth year, I'm sitting in the locker room and playing for Marty Schottenheimer in Kansas City. And I'm sitting on with the table, and his practice is over, and everybody's pretty much gone. And Coach Schottenheimer walks by, and he gets almost all the way past me, and he stops, and he backs up, and he says, "Sax, you ever think about being a coach?" And I sat there for a second, and I go, "Coach, you're not going to cut me, right?" But that was the first bug. And the way I originally got into coaching was because of this guy, Fred Giudici, who's currently one of the coaches at San Jose State. He kind of, when I got done playing, he kind of kept egging me about it, and so I wasn't sure about it, but took the bit and ran with it.
And then you coached a year at Rutgers, and then made it into the league.
Right. Yeah. So, like I said, worked with some great head coaches. Particularly Dick Vermeil. I learned that the one thing about being a coach, and this will stay with me forever, that players don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and that was his mantra, and I'll carry that forever.
And so you still have a home in Northern California?
Yes, I do. My wife is from Northern California, so we're not letting go of those roots.
Well, that's great, and continued good luck with the Vikings and with your career and with your family.
Well, thank you, Lawrence. It's always a pleasure seeing you and being around San Jose State.